Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. In this video, we'll discuss NVIDIA stock price movement for today and try to make an assessment for rest of the week using technical charts, fundamentals, and economic data analysis. We'll also take a look at SMCI stock, and also we'll dig into PCE Index data in this video. Now, let's get started. You see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. NVIDIA opened at 126.13. It made a high 128.12. It made a low 122.60 and it closed at 126.40. That is 0.25% up. So you can notice lots of volatility on NVIDIA stock today. There was no clear direction. It's good that NVIDIA closed higher than the yesterday closing price. That suggests that the downward momentum is still not very strong at this point. And you know that the PCE Index data is due on Friday, so we might expect some volatility on NVIDIA stock tomorrow as well. Now let's compare NVIDIA stock price with the last cycle stock split data. So you see this table on your screen. I also showed this table to you guys. This is the third week after NVIDIA stock split became effective. So it was effective on 6/7. The first week we noticed NVIDIA was still up 38.89% from the announcement date. And the second week ended with a 33.3% increase from the announcement date. And now we notice some kind of consolidation or the downward pressure on NVIDIA stock this week. At this point, NVIDIA still managed to be around 33% in the third week. If you take a look at the last split cycle, at the end of the third week, NVIDIA was 31.43% up from the announcement date. So in this split cycle, NVIDIA looks to me going in the same direction. So we might not expect too much increase on the NVIDIA stock this week. And I guess it should range between 30 to 35% increase from the announcement date. And that translates to between $120 and $130 stock price for this week. Now let's take a look at forward PE for NVIDIA and SMCI. You see this table on your screen. I updated this table with the latest forward PE for NVIDIA, Palantir, SMCI, and AMD. At this point, NVIDIA is at 46.81. That is lower than the last week forward PE ratio. And if you compare with the last 5 weeks, still higher than the last 5 weeks average. The last 5-week average is 42.64. SMCI is 26.62, slightly lower than the last week forward PE for SMCI. And if you compare with the last 5 weeks average, and that is 27.07. So SMCI is lower than the last 5 weeks average. So that makes SMCI comparatively a better buy than other AI stocks at this point. And also I shared with you the expected price range for NVIDIA for this quarter, and I mentioned to you guys NVIDIA is still up above the average projected price. So my average projected price for this quarter is 112.63. So, and I also mentioned that if NVIDIA drops to this value, that will be a very attractive buy. If you talk about my position, I have not bought any NVIDIA stock today. I already have bought NVIDIA stock probably Monday or Friday last week at 120 and 126 or 127. For me, I'm in a win-win situation. If NVIDIA stock goes further up, I will be in profit. If it goes down below 120, probably I'll make another buy around 112. And regarding SMCI, I also did not buy any SMCI today and yesterday. And I showed you my trading history the day before yesterday. That was the only time I bought SMCI stock. And I bought SMCI at 820 and 875. Now moving on, last 5 days NVIDIA down 9.63%. Last 1 month is still 10.97% up, and last 6 months still 156.49% up. So that tells there is more correction due, but we do not know when that's gonna happen. And as you remember, today was NVIDIA annual shareholders meeting. In this meeting, I do not find anything different that Mr. Jensen has said. He was just explaining his current position and was trying to answer some questions regarding competition. That's why there was no further excitement in the market today after this shareholder conference. Now, let's take a quick look on the technical charts. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia on your screen and also the MACD chart. If you take a look MACD chart, at this point the MACD line is about to touch the zero line. So that tells that not enough momentum on Nvidia at this point on either side, up or down. So tomorrow I'm expecting some sideways movement based on the MACD chart. Now let's take a look RSI. So RSI in a 90-day hourly interval chart is at 50. So it tells Nvidia is neither oversold nor overbought at this point. So it can go in either direction. Now let's take a look Bollinger Bands. You see Bollinger Bands in a 90-day hourly interval chart. So upper band and the lower band is trying to go in the upward direction since morning. And today you see that it's contracting and going to be flat. And also if you take a look, Nvidia stock line almost touching the middle line, and that is 20-day moving average, talking about the blue line. So that tells that at this point the buying and the selling forces are balancing each other out very well. So Bollinger Band does not suggest a strong momentum on Nvidia at this point. Now let's take a look at Fibonacci levels. Now you see the Fibonacci levels 0% to 100%. I selected the highest point 140.56 as my highest point and I selected this one as the lowest point, and that is 93.85. So this is comparatively a short-term view than we saw yesterday. The reason at this point I do not see a strong momentum on either side, so I want to see in the short term how Nvidia can behave and what are the different support and resistance level, and that makes more sense. At this point the next resistance level I see is 129.54, and you can notice that after touching 129 Nvidia started going down, and the support level is 121.72, and that is based on the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. So you can notice that after touching 122 probably Nvidia started going up. So I'm guessing Nvidia should trade between 129.5 and 121.72 this week, and for next week we can further reevaluate on Friday. Now let's take a look news regarding Nvidia. You see news regarding Nvidia on your screen. Today the very first one we should take a look is this one that says Nvidia shares are trading lower in sympathy with Micron technology. Micron has reported the earnings for the latest quarter. Let's take a look. So Micron was able to beat the earnings by 16.87% and the revenue 2.04%. But they were not able to give a very strong revenue forecast. Micron's stock falls after earnings as revenue forecast fails to pack big. So this news suggests that Nvidia is trading lower because the Micron's guidance was not very impressive. That does not make much sense to me because Nvidia was still under pressure in the morning time as well, right? And Micron released the earnings after hours. Moving on, the next one we should take a look is this one that says that Nvidia CEO Blackwell architecture will likely to be the most successful product in our history. So even if he mentioned about Blackwell architecture again, so that's not something new for the market, right? So that's why market did not take any surge after Mr. Jensen's speech. So another one that says Nvidia stock rebounds further. More AI chip startups aim to disrupt its dominance. So that's kind of something that people are talking about, that more competition is coming for Nvidia. Nvidia earnings growth or revenue growth might get impacted. But in the short term, I do not see any threat to Nvidia. So another one is again about Mr. Jansen. He says next wave of AI will automate $50 trillion heavy industries. So he keeps giving optimistic view regarding AI. So in the presentation, Nvidia also mentioned on growth opportunities and the strategies. That was not something new for the market, so market did not react to it. So now I see another price increase on Nvidia from this guy. That is from 140 to 175. That's a good thing for Nvidia, but I'm not seeing Nvidia to touch 175 anytime sooner. I guess that's all about news regarding Nvidia. Now let's take a look at other AI stocks. So you see today the highest positive change is on Amazon, that is 3.90% up, and then Apple, and then SoundHound, and then Avago, then Microsoft, and then Nvidia. SMCI, AMD, and Palantir are negative today. It doesn't mean that there's a negative trend started on these stocks. They might bounce back anytime soon. Now let's take a look on PCE Index historical data and try to make some assessment. So as we know that the PCE data is due on Friday before market opens, and last month we saw that the PCE data just matched the forecast both for the overall PCE and the core PCE. And before that, you see the PCE data came higher than the forecast. But prior to that, last three cycle, it just matched the forecast. In this month, we're expecting forecast 2.6%, and also the core PC expecting 2.6% forecast. In my opinion, this month as well, the actuals should match the forecast. Let's see what happens on Friday. So if it just match the forecast, that may not be a bad news for the market. But if the actuals come higher than the forecast, that will put market under pressure on Friday. That's all about NVIDIA analysis and assessment for today and rest of the week. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.